Hey, Minorcan Navy, Captain Mandy. Had a little issue with the boat this weekend. I'm going to share it with you. We broke the transducer, the mount here on the transducer, and we got some glue, and we've kind of put that back. We may go back with some epoxy on this and finish the repair. I think it's going to be okay. There's not a lot of pressure on this sensor. It's kind of out of the water, just kind of skims along it. I think we'll be okay. This is for the transducer to read the depth and fish down below the boat. And while we're doing that, while we're going through this, kind of glance over at the trim tab system here. Now the trim tab, there's one on the starboard, one on the port side at the rear, and they will add pressure. They're adjustable at the control helm, and they will allow you while underway and on plane to level out the boat by adding pressure or taking pressure off one side or the other. You can use that to level the boat when it's underway. Well, that said, we have found that there were some fasteners, that were some screws that were missing from this plate, and it's loose, and that's not a good thing. So we made a trip up to the local hardware store. We've got some new screws, and we actually got a little better. The old screws that were on here, the screws were okay, but the nuts that were on them were just plain nuts with a washer. We went back with some Nylock 3/16 stainless nuts for these, and hopefully that will eliminate any of the problem of those things loosening up and backing off. You know, these trim tabs don't have any zinc on them for electrolysis protection, and that might be something we look at doing, and maybe adding along the inside edge here so it's out of the water stream, but be able to attach. Maybe we'll take a look and see if we can find some zinc that we might be able to attach in here somewhere to protect these stainless steel trim tabs. Something that probably needs to be done. The zinc works as a sacrificial metal to fight the effects of this metal and current being in salt water. It will destroy metal if it is not protected with zinc. The outboard has zinc plates on it, both internally and externally. But this guy, noticing this guy does not have any of that. This trim tab was actually only being held in place by 4 of these small number, I think these are 1024 screws that we're going back with, and it looks to me like these have been added on. Maybe originally this plate was welded to the stainless piano hinge that's behind it, and that has created a problem. And they went back, but they didn't add the nuts with the nylon in them, and they've simply just backed off. So maybe that'll make a big difference. Let's hope. And what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and replace the other ones that were on here as well. Maybe bring this problem to a conclusion. They almost look like they'd at one time had a flat washer underneath them, and it's possible that the electrolysis has caused those washers to corrode, actually just corrode away, and maybe that loosening, that space coming out of the screws, caused these failures in the loosening of the rest of the fastener system. I'm actually very glad that we're taking these steps now, because this was very close to becoming a situation. You can see this screw, you can really see the corrosion issue, and this is stainless steel, but you can see what's been going on there. And then, as well as, if you'll take a look at this washer, it's been completely compromised. So I feel pretty confident. We've got this side back attached. It's back firm. Feels good. Looks a lot better. With this port trim tab, it looks like it's got its own set of problems. Again, it's loose as well, but in looking at it, we don't see any of the bolts through it. It looks like the trim tab was originally welded to this piano hinge and attached to the boat. Probably that was the same way over on the starboard side, and then the previous owner modified it, put the bolts in there, which I think is a good plan. They just needed the nylon lock in the nuts to keep them from loosening up. And I think that's going to be the same recourse we're going to have for this side, is to drill a series of holes on this tab and put bolts in it to hold it together. And so we're taking a look at thinking that that's going to happen. This has been going on for so long. We've actually got barnacles that are growing in between where the hinge and the trim tab were joined. So we're going to have to clean all that out before we get started.